Hi, friends. I hope you can get a good look at this beautiful little engraving. It's a very small engraving. It's entitled Burning a Priest at Tavoy, Siam. So, kind of a grim subject matter, but hopefully you can see all the little figures here. Gorgeous little view. Okay, so we're reading this book called American Miscellany. And I said this for the last essay. This is a book of essays. The subject matter is random, and I don't know what it is ahead of time. I'm just reading this book one page at a time, along with you guys, kind of stumbling across whatever is in my path. And in 1865, people thought a little differently. I thought I would have to apologize for my last essay. It was infant education. But actually, I agreed with that. I agreed with most of the sentiments, and I thought that they really had an excellent perspective on infant education, and I hope we can do that. But this one's going to be tricky. Here we are. We're on essay number 150 already. And as you can see, the subject matter is burning a priest. So I feel like I've got to go ahead and apologize ahead of time for this one. This might be a little rough around the corners, but we're here to learn. You know, we're here to maybe get a little bit of that 1865 perspective, and maybe enjoy this as you know, at least enjoy the art, enjoy the story. All right, here we are, page 386 of American Miscellany, of course published in 1865. And here we are, essay number 150, Burning a Priest in Siam. The death of a Ponghi, or president of a Kyong, is regarded as a great event, and the funeral is conducted with pomp and ceremony. The body, being emboweled and its juices pressed out, is filled with honey and swathed in many folds of varnished cloth. The whole is coated with beeswax, that which covers the face and feet being so wrought as to resemble the deceased. These parts are then gilded. The body often lies in state many months on a platform highly ornamented with fringes, colored paper, pictures, etc. During my stay at Tavoy occurred the funeral of a distinguished Ponghi. Its rarity and the great preparations which had been made for it attracted almost the entire populace. The body had been lying in state under an ornamental canopy for several months, embalmed in the Burman fashion. In the Burman fashion. The face and feet, where the wax preserved the original shape, were visible and completely gilded. 5 cars on low wheels had been prepared, to which were attached long ropes of rattan, and to some of them at each end. They were constructed chiefly of cane, and not only were in pretty good taste, but quite costly withal, in gold leaf, embroidered muslin, etc. When the set day arrived, the concourse assembled, filling not only all the zayats, but all the groves, dressed in their best clothes and full of festivity. Not a beggar or ill-dressed person was to be seen. Almost every person of either sex was dressed in silk, and many, especially children, had ornaments of gold or silver in their ears and round their ankles and wrists. Not an instance of drunkenness or quarreling came under my eye, or, that I could learn, occurred on either day. The body in its decorated coffin was removed, amid an immense concourse, from its place in the Kyong to one of the cars, with an excessive din of drums, gongs, cymbals, trumpets, and wailing of women. When it was properly adjusted in its new location, a number of men mounted the car at each end, and hundreds of people grasped the ropes to draw it to the place of burning, half a mile distant. But it had not advanced many paces before those behind drew it back. Then came a prodigious struggle. The thousands in front exerted all their strength to get it forward, and those behind with equal energy held it back. Now it would go 10 or 12 paces forward, then 6 or 8 backwards, one party pretending their great zeal to perform the last honors for the priest, the other declaring they could not part with the dear remains. The air was rent with the shouts of each party to encourage their side to exertion. The other cars of the procession were dragged back and forth in the same manner, but less vehemently. This frolic continued for a few hours, and the crowd dispersed, leaving the cars on the way. For several days the populace amused themselves in the same manner, but I attended no more, till informed by the governor that at 3 o'clock that day the burning would certainly take place. Repairing again to the spot, I found the advancing party had of course succeeded. The empty cars were in an open field, while that which bore the body was in the place of burning, enclosed by a light fence. The height was about 30 feet. At an elevation of 15 or 16 feet, it contained a sort of sepulchral monument, like the square tombs in our churchyards, highly ornamented with Chinese paper, bits of variously colored glass arranged like flowers, and variously mythological figures, and filled with combustibles. On this was the body of the priest. A long spire, decorated to the utmost and festooned with flowers, completed the structure. Soon after the appointed hour, a procession of priests approached and took their seats on a platform within the enclosure, while in another direction came the tree of life, borne on the shoulders of men, who reverently placed it near the priests. It was ingeniously and tastefully constructed of fruits, rice, boxes, cups, umbrellas, staffs, raiment, cooking utensils, and, in short, an assortment of all the articles deemed useful and convenient in Burman housekeeping. Women followed, bearing on their heads baskets of fruits and other articles. All these offerings, I was told, were primarily for the use of the deceased. But as he only needed their spiritual essence, the gross and substantial substances remained for the use of the neighboring monastery. The priests, with a small audience of elderly persons, now mumbled over the appointed prayers, and having performed some tedious ceremonies, retired. Immediately, skyrockets and other fireworks were let off at a little distance. From the place of the pyrotechnics, long ropes extended to the funeral cars, to which were fastened horizontal rockets, bearing various pasteboard figures, as may be seen in the engraving. Presently, men with slow matches touched off one of these, but it whizzed forward only a little way and expired. Another failed in the same manner, and shouts of derision rose from the crowd. The next came forward and broke a portion of the car, which called forth a strong applause. Another and another dashed into the tottering fabric, while several men were seen throwing faggots and gunpowder into it, till finally a furious rocket entering the midst of the pile, the whole blazed up, and the poor priest was exploded to heaven. Fancy fireworks concluded the ceremony, and the vast crowd dispersed. In the background of the picture are hucksters vending fruit, etc., and in the center some musical buffoons. That is Reverend H. Malcolm's Travels.